When you paint them, what do you do with them then, Henry?
Then you put them together in little armies and you fight against someone else's army. It is fun.
Oh,
I mean,
very
it sounds
fun.
ridiculous, but it is fun.
Yeah, no, toys, very good fun.
Before I get into the main video, I just want to say this. What other people say doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to be ashamed of what you do. If you love the things you do, take pride in them. You only live once, so enjoy it. If you can do that, your life is going to be infinitely better. Inspirational speech over. So Henry Cavill has spoken a lot about Warhammer, and every time he does, he invokes a little gushing of fanboys, like me, and a deluge of memes. In recent months, we've seen WWE stars and MMA stars come out with their love of Warhammer too. And in this interview, Zendaya talks about her love of knitting.
Yes.
But it makes me particularly happy when celebrities talk about their love of Warhammer, as it makes Warhammer, and by association, wargaming in general, more mainstream. And that can only be a good thing. But I have to say, when I watched this clip, first, it made me quite indignant. How dare Graham Norton make fun of my hobby in front of all those people? But then it made me think, and so I made this video. So this video, I want to talk about if you're ashamed of your hobby. So we're going to discuss shame, obviously, and touch on mental health in a little bit too. We'll discuss whether Graham Norton was actually right and Henry Cavill is a little odd, and if that even matters, before wrapping up with a couple other places I've found that are safe places to share your hobby with other like-minded individuals. Now, I'm not a therapist, but outside of YouTube, I am a director of a small mental health charity. And so, when I made this video, I chatted to some of our team and got their input too. Their thoughts were that wargaming is a really positive hobby. Creative activities that take time boost serotonin, the happy hormone, in a sustainable way. Sometimes, high-energy video games can require more serotonin from us than we get from them, so they leave you feeling quite drained. That's not the case with wargaming. Wargaming also has a social aspect, where you meet in person and play, which is great, not only for things like posture, but also being sociable, which is well known to have positive mental health effects. So the consensus was there's plenty of worse hobbies out there, and certainly no reason to be ashamed of yours. So what is shame? A dictionary definition is a painful feeling caused by the consciousness of wrongful or foolish behaviour. I see this with my kids all the time. For example, when I catch them stealing biscuits before breakfast, and they'll run and hide because they know they've done something wrong. So shame can be a good thing. We remember that feeling of shame and then avoid doing the thing that brought us shame. Again, still doesn't work with the biscuits though. The real problems with shame come when fear of being shamed stops you doing something you would ordinarily do, changing the way you act, or attempting to fit in with other people, or worse, hiding who you are because you don't feel normal, whatever that is. Now, there are clearly lots of situations this applies to, but as this channel is called Rising 8 Minis, I'm going to stick to that subject. So a good personal example are Warhammer stores. It seems silly now, but for years I would walk past Warhammer stores, sort of sidelong glances at the window, and want to go in and look at the models and ask questions, but never really daring to because someone might look at me and think I was weird. How much fun did I miss out on because of that? If you can relate to the topics in this video, comment down below, I'd love to hear from you. Or maybe you know someone who this might help, in which case share the video with them. In either case, drop a like on the video if you enjoy it, and maybe subscribe if you like content too so you can hear more. Thanks a lot. Now, we've all been where Henry is. Well, not literally where Henry is, but I know I've told people before about my hobby, and then had that awkward pause, sideways looks, or being laughed at, and so I get it. It's easier sometimes just not to mention it and keep it to yourself. Honestly, you are not as odd as you think you are. Another personal example for you. I go to CrossFit. I have done for years. I love it. Now, gyms aren't a very nerdy environment, unless you geek out on physiology. That's definitely a thing. But the conversation one day turned to what we were doing at the weekend or what we do for hobbies, something like that. And I mentioned that I like to paint plastic figures and models. And sure enough, awkward pause, then a laugh, then cool. So I asked him what he did. Bear in mind I was chatting to an army tank commander at this point, and he looked a bit guilty and said, I'm a big Bake Off fan. I love making bread or pastries, anything like that. I love it. And you know what? I did exactly the same to him as he did to me. Awkward pause, bit of a laugh. Really? And we had a bit of a laugh about it and decided, you do you. End of the day, we're all weird in our own way. If people react as Graham did,
Yeah, no, toys, very good fun.
then that's more likely because they're surprised you don't fit into the image that they had in their head about you. And so that's their problem, not yours. Since then, I've spoken a lot more about my hobby. Funnily enough, having a hobby-related YouTube channel has started lots of conversations. And I've been absolutely amazed at how many people do what we do. Even people I know really well have come up to me and said, "Oh, I used to play that when I was a kid," or "My brother plays that," or "Oh, that's kind of cool. Tell me how it works." Or even better, shared their own nerdy obsession. So if you feel insecure or odd, promise you, you're not. And if you're struggling to find a community or somewhere you can fit in, I've linked a couple of friendly places down in the description below. My favourite place on the internet at the moment is that Mr. Shy's Discord. It's a Discord chat filled with sensible, friendly people who love to chat about their hobbies. And yes, it costs £1 a month, but that's a small price to pay for a welcoming hobby community, in my opinion. So I guess to wrap up, we have an amazing hobby. It involves art and creativity, physical play and social interactions, and as a result is absolutely brilliant at boosting your self-esteem and improving your mental health. If you love it, don't let your own insecurities or other people's opinions stop you. You only live once, so have fun.